All right, Max, thanks for doing this interview.
Yeah,
Appreciate it. So we just got done with a long week of soccer camp. That's why we're both sunburnt and exhausted and probably smell bad. But thanks a lot for doing this interview. So we are in Dnipro, Ukraine, and going to interview Max to just hear about his experience during this war. So if you could maybe just start with telling us your name, your age, and if you want to share where you're from.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for inviting me. Really appreciate it. My name is Max. I'm 22. I live here in Dnipro. I was born here and I live here all my life. That's it.
Awesome. And if you can maybe just share with us leading up to the war, maybe just kind of your experience, how it was intensifying, what kind of things you saw, what the country was like, what your city was like.
Yeah, it all began in November 2021. We just had first news that Russia has its army close to our border, and they said that it's just training, so they need their forces there. And then we had more and more news about more tanks and military trucks, troops, and everything like that. That they have really big amount of troops close to our border, and we knew that, but no one was thinking that it's possible for war to start. We thought that that's impossible, and we were just thinking that this is kind of they're trying to scare us, and but like usual Ukrainian people didn't know the reason why they are doing that. And one day in February 2022, February 24th, 2022, we woke up at 4 a.m. Whole country woke up at 4 a.m. Because war started. So I saw Diana's interview on your channel, and she said that it was the worst day of her life, and I wouldn't say that because this day wasn't the worst in my life, but it was definitely the scariest one. And because we woke up at 4 a.m. because of explosions close to our, like, especially for me, close to my house. I woke up because my windows were shaking, so I just was standing in the middle of my room during these explosions, and I didn't know what to do. What should I do first? Should I run outside so I can be more safe, or should I take my documents and my clothes? What if my house will be bombed in a few minutes? So I was just standing, shaking and praying, and I didn't know what to do. So this day was the scariest one in my life. So that's how it started. I lost a lot of things in my life just in one day. So I lost my job. We had a business with my me and my two friends. We had a production here in Dnipro. We were making neon signs, if you know that. This stuff for cafes and businesses and whatever. And we made them for Americans and European people, so we used delivery every day. And when war started, all delivery services were closed, so we wasn't able to ship our products, and that's why we had a shop on Etsy, this marketplace, if you know it. So because of war, they closed our shop immediately, and all delivery services were closed, and so that's how we lost our job in one day. So we had no money. My girlfriend Diana left the country, so I also kind of lost her. I couldn't see her. my brother left to join the army, so I lost my brother in some way. Like he's still alive, but I wasn't able to see him anymore, and like my life just stopped, and I had no idea what to do next.
Mm. I know you told me when we went and visited different sites around Dnipro the other day that had been hit by Russian missiles. Can you tell us a little bit about the one where it kind of knocked you to the ground in your room and how far that was from your house?
Yeah, here in Dnipro, we have one really important manufacturing, and this is a really important target for Russians. They strike this place a lot with their missiles. It was how to say that it was hit by rockets.
Yeah.
More than 20 times.
Wow.
During the war. And one of these times I was walking, and I live close to this place, like it's like 1 mile away from my house where I live. So I was just walking to a store to buy some food, and I saw this whistle, like missile flying, and then in 1 second there was an explosion, and even though it's like far away, it's like 1 mile, it's not really close to me. After this explosion, in few seconds there was a like shock wave that knocked me on the ground, and I had this sound in my ears a little bit because it was too loud, and I felt this pressure in my chest. So I fell on the ground, then I stood up and started running. I ran home. I took my mother and my younger sister, and we came to the bomb shelter.
Yeah. So today is August, I think 15th, 2024, and you want to share a little bit about what happened just a few days ago of Ukraine actually doing something that no one expected.
Yeah, you say it correct. No one expected, even Ukrainians, Russians, Americans. I know everyone didn't expect that, because Ukrainians are moving forward inside of Russia. This is Kursk Oblast, Kursk district of Russia, and Ukrainian forces, I always heard that, like, they invaded Russia, and they today I read that they took more than 1,000 square kilometers. It's like 700 square miles of Russian land, and they use this land like a tool for talking with Russia when time comes, because there are many important manufacturers and gas stations that produce gas in Russia for Europe. So Ukrainians now control this area and these manufacturers, and it makes this piece of land a great tool for talking with Russians.
Yeah.
And we feel really encouraged, and we feel we have more energy because lately Ukrainians felt like really how to say that our
Morale was low.
Yeah, our morale. Yeah, exactly. Our morale was really low because we only lose our territories, not really fast. It happens slowly, but we lose our territories every day, and we weren't able to do anything during last year, maybe, because we had some victories, like we took Kharkiv Oblast, that's on top of the Ukraine, and we took Kherson back. It's a big city that was occupied, that was the biggest city occupied by Russians, and we took it back, and every time we felt like our victory is getting closer, but that was in 2022, and during all 23rd year, nothing happened. like we were expecting that we will have a big chance to win this war in 2023 because our government said that we're doing something special and you will see it in summer, but nothing happened. So we felt really depressed and sad because it's almost 3 years of war and nothing is happening. Like we only lose our territories. So now we feel really encouraged and our moral is really high right now. That's like we're happy that something is happening and it's happening fast. And now some Russians who live on these territories, they can understand what we felt during these 3 years of Russian invading.
Yeah. So, what was your experience like? Maybe if you can tell us the first days and even the first weeks of the war, what was going through your mind?
I was afraid of future for sure. I didn't know what to expect and what to do, but we felt really like on the first days of war, we were angry. We wanted uh, like a revenge or justice or whatever, and all Ukrainians were like one big family. Everyone helped each other. We were helping people who moved from occupied territories. And on first day of war, it started at 4 a.m. And we were at home with my family. Then in the evening we moved out of the city when we came to our grandparents' house that is like 30 miles away from Dnipro, and we thought it would be safer. And then on the second day of war, my family stayed there outside of the city, and I went back because I wanted to join Ukrainian army. So I went to this.
And you were how old then?
I was 20 years old, and that's why they told me that I can't serve right now because I have to be at least 22 years old, and I have to, like, I need to have experience of serving in their army. These guys were like the priority for Ukrainian army to invite them, and I didn't serve before, and I was only 20 years old, so they told me that I should wait and maybe they will call me later. So I left them my documents, like my photos of my documents and my phone number, and I went to the church because I knew that here in church they made like a station for people from occupied territories and they helped them. So I came here and I was living in a church for 2 weeks in my office because when we had business, our office was here in church, and we like changed it to a sleeping room. We had mattresses, mattresses on the floor, and we were sleeping, me and two of my friends, and we were serving every day because since war started on second day we had almost 200 people in church who needed a place where they can sleep, where they can have food and like retire and then go further to find a new place to live because their houses were damaged. And so we spent 2 or 3 weeks serving people, helping them. Some of my friends were making Molotovs in some other places to defend our city because we didn't know how far Russians can go. So we were waiting for them in Dnipro, and we were doing everything to stop them. So yeah, like I was in church for first 3 weeks helping people, and then on week 4 they called me and they said like people from Ukrainian army called me and they said that if I still wanna fight I can come. So I took my backpack with few clothes and my phone charger, and my shaver, or how to say that,
Yeah. Razor.
yeah, razor. And I went to that place where they teach soldiers, and they asked me how old am I. Some guys didn't know, like they were standing on the entrance to the place, and they asked me how old am I. And, I said that I'm 20. They said, sorry, you can join. You have to be at least 21. Um, so I waited for an hour for them to forget me. And then I came second time, and they really did forget me, and they asked me again how old am I, and I said I'm 21, and they just looked at me, and then they said like, okay, let's go. I came there, I was waiting, and this was really scary for me because I didn't know, like I wasn't ready to join the army. I just wanted, but I wasn't really ready because I never was there. And that looked like
Because why? You weren't ready because why?
yeah, I saw because that was the first time when I saw this big amount of soldiers and weapons at one place, and I saw these guys who were in like regular clothes, and then they were writing their names on some piece of paper, and one soldier just was giving them their new kit, like how to say that, this jacket and pants with the camouflage.
Yeah, like a uniform.
Like a uniform, and was giving them AK-47 and said, sit here, wait for 20 minutes, and we have a bus, and it will take you to the place where you will serve. And I was the last one in the queue, and I was waiting for my turn. And when I was able to write my name, they said that it's only one place left, and they need a cooker, like a guy who will cook for them, like who will cook food. And they said if I can be a good it's cooker, right?
Cook, yeah. Cook.
Yeah, if I can be a good cook. And I said maybe no, maybe you can find someone better because I'm not really good at this. And they said okay, and then you will come in 1 month. We will like take new guys, and we will call you again. And I was a little bit upset, but I went home, and they never called me back. So I guess they had enough guys. So that's why I'm not in Ukrainian army right now. But my brother is, because he was 24 when war started, and he had an experience of serving.
So things have changed quite a bit since then, right? I remember you saying this week that right now what's happening is if there's actually a lot of Ukrainian men over the age of 25 who this week and the last, I think, couple of weeks have really avoided going out of the house because if the police see them on the street and find out their age, by the way, Ukrainian men have to take documents with them everywhere they go right now. And if you're stopped and you're over the age of 25, they can and usually do take you immediately to and force you to be in the military, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know you're not yet 25, right?
Yes.
But it has changed quite a bit. Now people may not even have a choice and be pulled right into the military. And interestingly, this week as we've been here, almost every single day at the soccer camp, we've heard air raid sirens. Which at this facility we were at, there was a requirement that we go to the bomb shelter. So over 4 days, we heard the sirens 9 times. So we had to go to the shelter 9 times, and then that doesn't include after the camp during the evening when we have gone out in the city and heard more sirens. And you guys have a curfew right now, right? From midnight until 5 p.m. No one can be outside.
Yeah.
And what happens if you are caught outside during that time?
You will be uh, you will be taken to a police station until 5 a.m. in the morning. They will check your pockets, your backpack, or everything to see if you have something illegal or like they can also check your phone and even your the hidden folder on iPhone, so they can check if you have to take some photos of secret objects in Dnipro, like police stations or government buildings and stuff like that. Because in Ukraine we have a lot of Russian spies right now where these guys are not even Russians. These are Ukrainians who don't care about Ukraine and how this war will end. So they work for some amount of money and they take pictures of different important objects of our city and send them these Russians so they can hit this place by a missile. Like they can choose their next target. And Russians really don't pay a lot of money. It's like 200 rubles per photo. It's like $3 per one phone, and people risk their life to take these photos, because if police catches you and it sees these photos on your phone, they will arrest you and you will spend your next from 15 to how to say that, when you spend all your life in jail.
The rest of your life.
Yeah, you can spend from 15 years till the rest of your life in jail for taking these photos. And some people really do that because they need to make easy money. So that's why if police catches you on the street during the night, sorry, they will bring you to the police station and they will check everything you have in your phone. And if you're clear, they will let you go in the morning, but you have to pay the how to say that?
Like a fine?
Yeah,
a ticket?
A ticket, and it's like $600.
In USD?
Yeah.
Okay. Which is a huge amount of money for a Ukrainian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's like for some people it's more than 1 month's salary.
Okay. Wow. So is it required during the curfew to like have the lights off in your home?
Now, yes. Earlier when war started, we had to turn our lights off every night after 12 p.m. because some missiles use lights on the buildings and they can put this building as a target. And if some people, like our government, scared us, like they were scaring us that if we will not turn our lights off, they will just cut the energy and we will not have it at our houses. So everyone did that, and that was really like this moment when you're standing on your balcony. Like in my apartment, I was standing on my balcony at 2 a.m. There is no lights in the city, and I hear the siren, and I see this really bright stars because there is no light from the city, and was one of the most how to say that. That might be wrong, but I would say that this was one of the most fantastic moments of my life because it feels really unreal. It's like you think that it cannot be real. Like you see the big city with no lights at all, and you hear the siren and you see these beautiful stars, and like this feeling was unreal. It is scary and interesting at the same time.
Yeah.
So I did that a lot.
Yeah.
I was going to sleep at 4 a.m. During a long time because the worst things at war happen at night. A lot of explosions, a lot of news, like Russians moved, or our troops moved forward. All these things happen at night. So that's why me and my friends, we went to sleep at maybe 6 a.m. or 8 a.m. and we were staying awake during the night so we can check the news.
Why do you think it's primarily at night that they attack?
Because it's harder to see a rocket and to defeat the objects that they are attacking at night. Because they don't Ukrainian forces don't use only radars, or how to say that, this stuff to see the rocket, but they can also see it by their eyes. And if someone for example, in Donetsk Oblast, that is the eastern part of Ukraine, see the rocket, it can just tell other guys that's in the middle of Ukraine that the rocket is coming, and they will be ready to destroy it. And at night it's harder to.
And so every time the air raid sirens go off, it's because the Russians have launched a missile at the city, correct?
Sometimes yes, and sometimes we have, they have jets with rockets, and these rockets fly really far, and it can go whatever they put a target on. So it can go in one place, and then it changes its direction and go another way. So if these jets are in the sky, if they're have launched, or how to say that, and these jets are in the sky, siren starts all over the Ukraine, and these sirens and these alarms are the most dangerous, because these missiles are really hard to destroy. And sometimes we have we have siren just in one district of Ukraine, and others are fine, because above our sky we have like a drone or an old missiles or something like that.
So can you tell us a little bit about your brother's experience? You said that he's in the military. Are you able to keep in touch with him regularly?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Yeah.
He's my brother.
Yeah. And how is he doing? What has his experience been like?
Well, he's doing great. He's a really strong man with he has a lot of power, of faith, and his spirit is strong, so he's always feeling feeling good, and he's always happy and funny, and I never saw him crying during the wars, something like that, even though he's been through a lot of horrible stuff. He saw his friends dying right next to him. They were surrounded by Russians, and that's a miracle that they survived, because they got shot by a tank, and missile just came right next to their car, and one piece of this missile came through the door, close to his head, so it just touched his ear and went through the roof of the car, and he sent me that photo with him and his blood on his ear, and he was smiling. He has blood on his ear, and this big huge hole on the roof of the car, and he has a lot of stories like that. He's fighting during these 2.5 years, but he's always strong and funny. I like that.
That's awesome. So you serve in your church here, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
I am. I used to play in the worship team, but now my hand is broken, so that's why I can do that. And also, I am, that guy who leads the service before the teaching. Like I say, hello everybody, let's pray for some things, and then I talk to people like who is the first time here and stuff like that, and then I say like our information about our events in our church. I don't know how to say that, like a host of a serving. So yeah, that's my serving right now.
Awesome. And do you help lead the youth?
Yeah, also like right now we don't have youth servings as we did before, but when we had it, I was also helping too.
Awesome. And so what has it been like in your church here in Dnipro, maybe from the start of the war up until now? What has been the general spirit of the people? What are some of the hardships the church has faced, and so on?
People in church have more power and definitely more faith than people outside of the church, because we know God and we continue praying every Sunday and every day in our church for people, for our soldiers, for the ending of war, and that really helps to stay motivated and to keep our moral on a high level. Because if you go outside and ask 10 people about what do they think about war, maybe 6 of them would tell you that they want to stop this war as soon as possible, and then they don't care if we take our territories back, or if we lose more. They just want to end this war as soon as possible. And just if you ask people in Dnipro, they will hope that Russians are not in Dnipro, and that's it. That's fine for them. But in church, we continue praying for our victory, and we mean that we want to take all our territories back. We want our troops and soldiers back and want them to be safe and healthy. So here inside the church, we have more power and more faith. So that's we stay strong and motivated to keep praying, because we have a lot of testimonies.
Yeah, that's an awesome testimony in and of itself, right? That's really encouraging to hear. Are there any stories in general that come to your mind that you would like to share about just experience during the war or anything?
Maybe I just want to say that during this war I realized that people are one of our greatest gifts on this planet while we're here, because I haven't seen my girlfriend for more than 700 days because of war. When last time I saw her was February 23rd, and then February 24th war started, and she and her family, they left the country. So we haven't seen each other for a while, more than like almost 2 years. And I was watching some videos in my gallery on my phone, and I saw one video when she was holding my hand, and I realized that I cannot even remember this feeling. I can't even remember how her skin feels like and her touches feels like, because I haven't seen her for a while, and I started crying. And then I saw her first time in November last year. She came back home, and she's here now during the summer. And also a lot of my friends moved to another countries because of war. And when they come back, I realized that um, people are a real gift for us, and they're really important in our lives. And war, because of war, we met a lot of wonderful people, just as you guys, for example, who came here to serve. Um, and yeah, that like this war helped me to understand how important people are.
Mm. Yeah, that's wonderful. So, what do you want for your future? What is your hope for the future in general, but for you specifically?
Mm, I have some plans to um, like after war ends. So um, I want this war to end as soon as possible, but also I want justice for Ukrainian people, because this is just unfair how Russia's invaded here and they kill our innocent people, and they destroy our homes and our cities and everything they see. Um, like you can see how I can show you. I will send you photos, so maybe you can add them to your video after we record this. But I saw an interesting photo of occupied Dnipro during Second World War. Dnipro was occupied by Nazis in 1943, and I saw a photo of it, and Dnipro was completely undamaged. There are some Nazi soldiers, but people are also walking freely on the streets. They ride their cars and stuff like that, and they feel well. They are not free because Nazis were bad too, but our city was not destroyed, and that's horrible that Russians don't occupy cities, they just destroy them. If they close to the city, they just bomb it as much as possible, and then when there is no reason for Ukrainian forces to stay in the city or in the village, when every single building is destroyed, our forces leave this city and Russians occupy it, but there is nothing left. So Nazis were more they had more how to say that,
Care of the city, maybe?
yeah, and of the people. Like they didn't kill everyone in the city, but Russians do. So I just want justice for Ukrainian people. I just want like um, you were teaching us on Sunday that we should love our enemies. So I don't want revenge. So I don't want a lot of Russians to die, but I really want for them to understand what they just did, so they feel our pain and our like what we felt during these 3 years. So I just want justice because it's just unfair, and I hate this. So that's my biggest wish, for this war to end, and new wars all over the world will never even begin, because this is horrible.
Yeah. And how can your fellow believers, your family in Christ in America and really just around the world, be praying for you? Like, what's maybe one or two things that you would ask them to pray?
I would say that you can for sure pray for the ending of war, and for our soldiers and civilians to be to be safe, in safety. So, and also I want to ask you to pray for our faith and our mental health, because a lot of Ukrainians doesn't doesn't feel good. Their mental health is really damaged. You know, a lot of Ukrainians have panic attacks or anxiety all of the time. So that's why we use the help of psychotherapists. Is that right? Yeah, so you can pray for our people's mental health and their hearts to be soft and not and so they don't have this anger and so they don't have this anger inside their hearts maybe. And please don't think that we are like I see a lot of messages in social media where some Americans think that Ukrainians are using their money and resources and like we are, you know, I'm ungrateful. This is not true. Every like 99% of Ukrainians understand how important your support is. Not only Americans, but from people all over the world. And we are so grateful that you support us and you help us and you pray for us. And we also pray for you and your country as well, and because we are really grateful. And we may be a little bit loud screaming about war in our country because this is the only way for us to survive and to stay alive, so our country will continue existing. But it doesn't mean that we're ungrateful, because this is not true. We are so grateful to you guys for helping us and supporting us during all this time. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, thank you. One last thing, I guess. So you had tried to join the military in the past. Is that something that you still want to do? Have you considered that more?
No. I wanted to join the army because at the start of the war, Ukrainians felt really like we were the most patriotical or
say again.
Like we were the real patriots of our country. Like everyone wanted to do as much as possible to help Ukraine at this exact moment. Like making molotovs or things like that. And then actually, me and my friend, we joined some like kind of forces. It was territorial. We call this territorial defense powers. This is like a huge amount of men who protect their city. Like we had these groups all over Ukraine in every city, and we were serving as people who protect their city at night. So we were standing outside of the city on this like this point where cars go to the city, and we checked every car that was in the evening, and then when it was a curfew, we were staying there and looking for maybe some cars that are for some people who's not at home. And that was funny because they didn't have a weapon for us, like some guns. So me and my friend, they gave us a piece of wood that looked like AK-47. It was painted like it like colors of AK-47, dark brown and black, and it was just only one for two of us. So we were staying all night long in winter. That was so hot, and we were staying for 6 or 8 hours. I can't remember. maybe for 6 hours at night, from 12 p.m. till 6 a.m., holding this wooden AK-47 and waiting for cars. And that was really funny and scary at the same time. That was at the beginning of war in March 2022. Yeah, so now I don't want to join forces because um, I'm afraid to die. Let's be honest, not everyone is ready to fight and ready to give their life for for our country. That's why we're so grateful to our troops, soldiers who are fighting and who, for those who gave their lives fighting for our country. But a lot of people are scared because when war started, we didn't know what to expect and we didn't see war before. Like we learned about World War II in our schools, but we haven't seen this in real life. So now we have seen a lot. Everyone in Ukraine is related to someone who died during this war, or have a friend who died, or they have a friend who is really like who lost his legs or an arm or something like that. So we have seen a lot, and we know that war is not a joke, and you can die in 1 minute. Like we knew one guy from Canada who came here in Ukraine to join an international forces. So he was training for 2 months here in Ukraine in some safe area, and he finally finished his training, and he came. So he joined the actual Ukrainian army, and it was his first day on the front line, his first 10 minutes, and he got hit by a tank, and he lost 2 of his legs and 1 arm, and he flew back to Canada to because he wasn't able to fight anymore. He spent 2 months of training and only 10 minutes fighting here on the front line. And so that's why we are afraid to die, and we are afraid to give our lives, and I think that's normal. So that's why I don't want to join forces by my decision. But if they call me, I won't hide. I won't stay at home and spend my life in my room. I will go to give them my documents, and if they say that they need me and I have to join the army, I will do it. If they don't, I will be happy to serve in my church or whatever Lord wants me to serve. Yeah, that's what Pastor Maxim told us, because they gave him Ukrainian soldiers gave him this paper, so he had to go to bring his documents to this special place. I don't know how to call this in English. Like, this is some place where they took all these men and then sent them to war. This point. So Pastor Maxim wasn't afraid to go there, and he's like an example. And so he told us, if you have this document and you have to go to that place, don't be afraid, just do that, and Lord has a plan for you, and if it is God's plan, then you won't be killed or hurt during this war. So don't be afraid, and go there and do what you have to do as a Ukrainian man. So that's why I'm not afraid, and I will do whatever I have to do according to God's plan.
Amen. Max, thank you so much for taking the time to do this, and I know there are so many other stories you have, things that you've shared with me on this trip that you didn't mention now, and then so many others that I haven't even heard yet. And so I would love to hear those in the future. If God willing, if He sees fit for me to be able to come back, maybe we can do another interview and hear more. But yeah, we are certainly praying for you, and one of my main purposes of this interview is to, one, make people aware of what's going on and hear personal stories from people like you and others, to remind them to pray, and to remind them that the war is not over. It's still very active, still going on. And so thank you so much for taking the time to do that, and really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for letting me to tell my story.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Thanks.